What's up, everybody? Big Herc in the house. Prison Talk Live, number 10. Been at it 10 weeks now. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Shout out to all of our fans who have been supporting, telling their friends and family to subscribe. And, thanks for looking out on our YouTube, on our Instagram, on our Twitter, and, checking out our SoundCloud, FreshOutSeries on SoundCloud also. Good looking for that. And everybody who's actually signed up for Patreon, Patreon, and checked out the spreads. Much love to you for supporting the content with Chef Big V and me doing the prison spreads. We appreciate all the support for that. We want to keep bringing you guys this good content. Be looking out for the new car hustle coming soon. I'm working on some new car hustles. We're going to have that out pretty soon. We got some new apparel coming out also. So check out FreshOutSeries.com for the new apparel. We'll have some stuff jumping off. And, it's just trying to stay busy, man, and get this show ready to take to the next level. And we just really thank you guys for supporting and, coming with the questions and looking out for, our channel. What was my max lift in prison? At Sheridan, they had weights. Long Park USP didn't have weights. I started for Long Park USP, went to Sheridan, they had weights. Probably on the deadlift, I got 505, 510. On the squat, about 495. Didn't really flat bench on the incline. I hit I think I hit about 360, 370. It says somebody asked if you have a family member escape from county, how long before authorities stop looking, or do they ever stop? They never stop. If you escape from prison, shit, man, they're gonna be on that ass, man. They gotta bring you back into custody, so you'll forever be on the run. They might not make it priority one no more if you've been out for a good amount of time, but they're gonna stay looking for you. Was there any BGF in Long Park? BGF, from my understanding, is predominantly in the state prisons in California. So I actually, I ran across some cats in Sac County that was BGF, but I didn't really associate with them. But through another person, I knew that they were BGF, and I know they have BGF in the state pens. Not so much. I didn't run across any in the feds. Somebody asked, do you think the prisons would run more smoothly if the warden rewarded the whole population with some barbecue cook or something if there's no incidents or assault? But the warden don't really give a damn about the inmates. It's to him, his job is to keep you locked in there and not allow you to escape. As far as the barbecue and the good food and shit, man, they give you that on say 4th of July, Memorial Day, Super Bowl, shit like that, but they don't really give a fuck about the inmates in prison, man. As long as everybody is accounted for, because each bed space is a dollar sign for these wardens, and they have to keep everybody alive and healthy in order to get, keep the bankroll rolling for the prison. So it's all about the dollar. They don't really give a fuck about if you're happy in there or not. They feel that if you're in there, they don't even really want to know what your case is about. They're just trying to make sure that you don't leave before you're released. Somebody said, did you make yourself a fifi while you were locked up? Nah, didn't make no fifis, man. Fifis, you know what, man, I predominantly seen those when I was in YA. The youngsters, they fucking with the fifis. And the more adult prisons at the feds and, county level, dudes was like looking at fuck books. So I didn't see any fifis. When is Prop 57 going to kick in? You know what? I don't know. I'm not quite sure. I know they've been trying to put a lot of negative stuff, press about that, but I'm not up on that. Could you do karate on the prison yard? No karate on the prison yard. They don't allow any type of trained martial arts, and they pretty much, they didn't have any punching bags or speed bags. They used to have that stuff, I heard, in the state, but they don't want you to have any type of hands or defense skills that are beyond what the guards can handle. Because most of these guards, man, they're not in shape. They want you to be out of shape. They hate on you when you try to work out. So, if you have water bags and shit like that, you got to keep it on the side on a slide, because if they find it, they're gonna pop them and empty them out. So yeah, training, any type of military training, martial arts, MMA stuff, they don't go for that up in there. Um, what was your thoughts about privatized penitentiary for profit? It's fucking slavery, man. Check out 13 on Netflix. When they first started locking up, the first people to get locked up were blacks who were freed slaves for loitering, for hanging out, basically for doing nothing. And they criminalized that, put them in prison, had them picking cotton again, had them fucking working in the fucking plantations, and it just spread from there, man. So as far as whether it be to spread that out into selling drugs, and then making up these other really petty laws, they just started gradually locking people up, and then as they lock them up, you create a certain type of mentality, and then when these guys get out and they raise kids, it just breeds the same negativity, and it's a perpetual cycle, man. This shit is all engineered, It's all based on, control of a certain class structure and economics. And these people up there running these penitentiaries, their kids ain't never gonna see this shit. They'll pay hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars for their kids to go to rehab before he'll go to prison for killing somebody for drugs or for doing something that can land him in a hard time. These people, man, they're in a whole they're on a whole nother plane. They don't even understand what's going on as far as in these situations. As far as people in prison, they just want to make sure their stocks keep rising in profit. Do you have to pay some sort of restitution for bank robbery? Already paid back my restitution, but yeah, if you commit a bank robbery per however much you took, they do basically try to get you to pay. You have to pay restitution. They'll take it out of your tax return. Did I ever have any suicidal thoughts in prison? Nah, man. Wouldn't like no ghetto boy shit jumping off. Never thought about killing myself, and surprisingly, a lot of guys aren't in there just trying to kill themselves. Most people, it's a weird psychology, especially with the guys doing a lot of time, but they're actually still visioning themselves getting out of prison one day and trying to find ways to get their cases overturned. So, that's what that is. Was there any celebrities anywhere I was locked up? Didn't see any celebrities, man. Didn't run across any celebrities. I wasn't in there when Ja Rule was in there, or any of these other rappers or anything. I didn't run across T.I. or nothing like that. They did have some acts. Do they play sports together? Can different races? Yeah, they did have sports. You had softball, basketball. And usually, you might have, guys from LA might have a hoop team, or guys from Portland, or it might be a mixed team. Some of the Mexicans, maybe from Southern Mexicans, might have their own team. The North they have their own team. Everybody kind of that's real big as far as putting together their own sports teams, having a coach, and there's a lot of gambling going on with the sports. So sports is real big among all the races in prison. What's my thoughts on OJ? Man, watching the documentary Made in America, one thing about black people is that you gotta always remain humble, man, no matter how successful you become, and always, never forget where you came from, man. OJ got to a point where he felt that he wasn't black or white, he was just OJ. And, these people, man, they... you might think that, you're in with the good because, oh man, I get to go to all these little, private country clubs and this and that, man, but you still a nigga, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it fucked up, because they're not about to let you breed with their daughter or with, intermingle with their family on an intimate level like that. So always realize that, you're black, man, and it's fucked up, or you're Mexican, and, you can't be racist unless you have economic control over another race. So as far as to say that, you're being a black person being racist, how can I be racist when you can't? I'm not in control of hiring anybody. Don't own no corporation. Don't own nothing that's creating. So it's just fucked up, man. But OJ got caught up in that whole shit, man, and it bit him in the ass. You know. What was the most fucked up thing you saw while you were locked up? The most fucked up thing, man, was I mentioned in the prison talk when somebody dropped a kite on the yard and said there was a gun, and they locked down the whole institution and went unit to unit in ski masks, basically like goon outfits, and searched all the cells, just basically destroyed the units, and then forced us to go to chow hall the next couple of days. And when they did that, they have snipers on the roofs pointing guns at us. Just a bunch of intimidation shit, man. It's fucked up, man. You know, and I understand I did a crime, you know, I had to do the time, but it was just, it was a fucked up situation, you know, and that was, you know, to see, you know, people pointing guns at you and to feel helpless and be compelled to do something you don't want to do just because you got a dick ass warden. This warden was a black guy. He was a cold piece of shit, alcoholic, you know, but yeah, that's how they got down up in there. Shout out to North Highlands, you know, much love. Shout out to New Zealand. I seen you put a little shout out. Any general advice for a youngster getting his feet wet in life? Yeah, man. Hang around, socialize with friends or people who are successful, who have more success than you, so you can let that rub up on you. You know, I never realized until I got older, I'm 43 now, how important the people are that you grow up around, especially during your adolescent age, you know, your early teens and in high school. These are people you're going to later in life get job connections through, travel with, you know, network with. So if you hang around a bunch of people who ain't doing shit but smoking weed all day or drinking and no ambition, man, when it comes time for you guys to help each other, you ain't going to have nothing to get from them. So, you know, make sure you socialize with people who are trying to go places in life, man. And just really, man, sometimes you'll be called a square, man. It's all right, though. You know, change that shit up, man. Get around people who are on a positive, man. Do you think marijuana should be legalized and everyone in prison released for it? Yeah, I think it should be legalized. I mean, you know, it's legal already in you know, so many states, but the whole thing about marijuana and the legalization, why once they can figure out the whole taxation system on that, all these corporations are going to come in there and blow the doors off the game, and weed is going to be as cheap as cigarettes. And what they're going to do is, since they ain't got these motherfucking weed task force anymore, they're going to go after all the legals. So all you people out here who came across illegally and you don't have your paperwork, they're going to basically start putting you guys into these federal holding facilities that's been empty for a while, because under Obama, they were actually talking about shutting down the feds. So now with Trump in office, there are actually a lot of these private corporations who run these private federal institutions. They actually donated money to his campaign knowing that he was going to start locking up illegals, man. So, man, you guys got to get it right, man. You got to get your shit together, because these people, man, they ain't doing nothing but trying to colonize, man, and keep you under their thumb. And you gotta be smarter than that. You can't go out like no sucker these days, man. Somebody said, what was the most positive thing you ever saw in prison? The most positive, I actually had a group that I created with some other guys. There was a white guy, Mexican, a mixed race, black and white guy, an Asian, had a Korean homeboy, another brother, and we used to study, man, a cat from Belize, and we used to study legal work, and we would sit there, man, and basically every Saturday and Sunday, man, cook together, go out and study and read about the law, man, and educate ourselves. And that was the most positive thing that, you know, I seen going on, because a lot of guys would be playing basketball in the yard or, you know, sports or doing other things, and we actually try to all help each other. And to this day, I'm still in touch with the majority of those guys that I did time with, that you know, that studied together. We all help each other out still to this day. Did the yard ever get shook down by the Ninja Turtles? If so, what was the experience like for you? Yeah. When I told you, when they said that somebody said they had a gun on the yard, they had the Ninja Turtle outfits on, man, with 9mm, and some of them have sniper rifles, man, and they came in there fucking like goon squad, and these same motherfuckers, man, that tell you to don't look at me, turn the fuck around, get the fuck on the ground, shut the fuck up. These are the same motherfuckers, man, that the next 2 days when they take us off lockdown, or the next week, they want to see you in a chow hall and say what's up to you. No, nigga, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? But that's what type of bullshit they on. Yeah, man. Joe Walker, man, you need to go, seems like you need to go take your butt plug out. You got some issues, huh? He's on some old troll shit today. But, yeah, man, being positive in prison, man, it's just, it's hard, man, but you gotta try to focus and find those people, man, who are on the same level you're at, man. How many strikes are you on, and do you stay positive and out of trouble besides don't want to be back in the pen? I don't know how many strikes I have, actually. I probably have one strike. I got in trouble when I was in juvenile hall, but I was under the age of 18. I just stay positive because I socialize with people who are trying to be successful, man. I try to stay around people who have more success than me so I can learn and basically just elevate myself consciously. And whenever I feel myself slipping back into like a negative state of mind, I go to the gym, I work out, I decompress, and I just, think about how far I come in life, and I just, I read stuff that's more spiritually uplifting, and I just get back on my square, man. You can't let life, take you down, or, knock you off your square, man. You gotta always, think about what you do have and be grateful for that, and make an effort to actually be positive, because it's not easy being positive all the time. No offense taken, man. Best hiding places for contraband. Oh, I don't want to give up all the spots, but there's a lot of places in prison. I mean, the guards already know. They search the laundry room. There's a communal laundry room. They go through there and search the shit out of that. But believe me, there's a lot of shit being hid up in there. There's a lot of shit being hid up in the rec area. You know what I'm saying? They got a rec area. There's all kind of shit being hid up in there. There's shit being hid in the kitchen. There's a lot of secret spots in the kitchen. In the cell, there ain't really a whole lot to hide, places to hide. So, a lot of times, shit is being hidden in a place that's accessible fairly quickly in case some shit jumps off. But there's a lot of hiding spots, whether it be in the unit, and usually a lot of these hiding spots are controlled by a particular clique or gang or race. And, they just look out for that particular spot, man, and that's their hiding spot. But, yeah, as far as that's concerned. Traveling, yep. I'm, just do a lot of traveling within the States right now. Looking forward to trying to take a trip to Europe next year, get out and see some different things, I mean? It's always good to be cultured, to see different, different cultures and, different people in different places, to see how they live, so that you can have a better perspective of how you live. Because a lot of times you have tunnel vision because you stay only in the neighborhood, and you don't realize if you go another 10, 20 miles, there's prosperity over the hill. So you got to always stay looking for something positive. Somebody said, do niggas sleep naked in the summertime? Hell nah, not in the pen. Ain't nobody sleeping out there with no Peter Gazers and shit like that, nigga. You got your boxers, your shorts on, and probably your shoes tied up, but you ain't sleeping naked. How to get hoes to visit in prison? Well, in prison, usually, what I'm saying, what you do is you sign up on one of those prison connection websites, because you always got some females on the street who want a bad boy. They want to be able to say they saved you, or they changed you, or blah 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 blah. And a lot of them be surprisingly state workers, state employees with benefits and shit. So a lot of cats do hook up with females through these connection sites and get them to come visit them. Send them a visiting form, and they fill it out. Or either a homie has a connection with a female, and she's looking for her partner's looking for a friend, so that they can come up there together, and it goes down. Heard they RICO the Aryan Brotherhood and put the leadership on death row some time ago. Are they still active? I don't really know any Aryan Brotherhoods, to tell you the truth, so I wouldn't know what their situation is as far as in the pen. Stressful, more tension, holidays in the pen. Did you ever write another? Is it stressful and more tension on the holidays in the pen? I would say, holidays, man, it just makes you, it's more emotional because you think about like the holidays, about hanging out with family, eating good food, being able to embrace loved ones. And you can't do that in the pen, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, man, they get out and they're real bitter, or they get out and use that bitterness as fuel to be successful. But the holidays, it's always a time where you try to get with your homies and maybe make a little spread and cook and try to build some type of bond with, man. But yeah, it's holidays is pretty fucked up. Herc, have you ever get attacked by a shank? Nah, I ain't never had nobody try to shank me in the pen. And I mentioned it before. I think protect yourself. That if a motherfucker is coming at you with a shank, usually if you can see this motherfucker coming at you, kick his motherfucking legs out and then chop him in the neck, and that always works real well. Somebody said, "Is there heads for all different races to keep everything in line for the people in the feds like there is in the state?" Yeah, every institution has like a shot caller. Sometimes the shot caller that you think is calling the shots is not the one actually calling the shots. There's somebody else in the cuts who's actually more more intellectual, very sharp, military minded, and they don't expose themselves. And the only way you would know that this person is a shot caller was if you were intimately involved with that particular gang or clique. But they do have people who, like when shit jumps off, the warden calls in these individuals and they talk to them and have them go spread the word back to their people, which basically keeps the peace in prison and kind of monitors, kind of polices the other inmates. Would you slap a shot caller if he disrespected you? I wouldn't let any man disrespect me. You can't go through prison, period. But a shot caller, somebody like that is not going to just openly be disrespecting you. It might be somebody underneath him that might try you before he would. But usually that person is somebody who's been in the state, who's pretty sharp. He's put in a lot of work and he's respected. So he knows about giving respect. So it's a different type of mentality. Did you ever stay in the hole? I did some time in the hole for some bullshit, man. They just randomly picked people, a person from every race and threw us in the hole. And it was just one of those things they did to always keep the institution off balance, is that they would just create shit like that, do random shit like that just to let them know who was in control. Like I said, this was at Sheridan and we had a piece of shit black warden. He was a piece of shit. Is it true if you get locked up that your race will ask you what you're in for before letting you in? I know in the state, in the state right off the top, I had a partner. He was a correctional officer. He said the white boys, bring your paperwork to the yard. No games. Bring your paperwork. He said the brothers, pretty much if you were trying to roll, they would ask you for your paperwork, but and the feds, if you banging, bring your paperwork. If you trying to claim a certain hood, bring your paperwork. I've seen a lot of dudes on that didn't show their paperwork, and then later somebody showed up and exposed their motherfucking ass. 'Cause a lot of dudes try to act like, oh man, my paperwork got sent home. I don't have no paperwork, and they try to play it off. And so they're trying to buy time and not let nobody know what the fuck they're in there for when they're hot boys. But eventually it all comes to light. I seen a dude that was on the yard for a long time, big motherfucker, Crip cat, man, one of the strongest dudes on the yard. And hey, man, these cats don't give a fuck. They checked it. He checked in on his own because they were gonna punish him. He did something out of pocket. Or they found out something about his record. But yeah, he checked in, man. So paperwork, man. And what paperwork means is your charges. They want to see your your discovery, or they'll have if you did any type of snitching, it'd be in maybe your trial paperwork, or if you did a 5K, you try to get time off for telling on people. Paperwork is basically showing that what you're in there for, and if you are if you're clean, man, if you a stand-up dude. So that's what that's about. Inmates allowed to operate lawnmowers and stuff like that. Now I don't know, maybe at a camp. At a camp, it's wide open, so you got inmates that are driving trucks. You know what I mean? You got, when I got released, the guy from the camp, another inmate, actually drove me to Greyhound bus station. So there's inmates that have a lot of free, a lot of open freedoms that are in the camp that are, doing their thing. Somebody said, "Can I interview Lavish D?" I don't know who that is, but shit, tell him to hit us up at FreshOutSeries@gmail.com. And I would love to interview Trey D if I had the opportunity, man. I just I don't have a connect with his manager or anybody that knows him directly, but I would love to get him on here and get a real interview from a G. Somebody says, "Oh, what's up from Kansas? What's up, Kansas? Much love." We actually got the interview Tech 9 for the homie King Harris's interview. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out. King Harris, he used to perform at Tech 9. He used to travel around with brother. He did some stuff with Brother Lynch, E40, The Game. I think he opened up for Brother Lynch at a concert or so. But he has Tech 9 in his interview, and he's from Kansas. Shout out to Kansas. How does getting married while locked up work? See, in the feds, you don't have any conjugal visits, meaning that you can't fuck your wife, man. You can't get a weekend visit where you guys can fuck. In the state, they'll let you fuck. And I think if you're, in the feds, I don't know, maybe for benefits purposes or something like that, it might be the only benefit. But yeah, you don't have there's no intimacy as far as your visits are fucked up unless you get to a camp. You get to a camp, man, it's a little bit more wide open. You can, make shit happen. But in the USP or medium, man, you have to sit across from each other, and these guards ain't letting you touch or do shit. I think you can kiss and hug at the very beginning and at the very end. I never had a visit homie from a female while I was up in there, so I can't really speak on it too tough. If somebody said, "Oh, what's up from Canada, British Columbia?" All right, much love. Were there any Indians, Asians in prison? A lot, yeah. There's a lot of Asians. I had some partners from Laos up in there, some Vietnamese homies from Korea up in there. As far as the Indians, I didn't see any Indians. There was Native Americans, but no Indians. I didn't run across any of them in prison. Somebody said, "Who had the best looking hoes visiting in Lompoc?" I don't know, man. I never made it out to visiting out there, man. I didn't get any visits, period. So I basically did my time vicariously living through the homies, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't get any visits while I was in the pen. Did I ever run into the rapper X-Rated and it's from Sacramento prison? Nah, I've heard of X-Rated. I never ran across him knowing while I was in the pen. I was in the Fed, and I know he's in the state. I think Bo was in the Feds too. My homeboy was in Arizona with Bo. But I never ran across him either. I was out before when he went back in. What's up, Chapel Hill, North Carolina? Go Tar Heels. Yeah, man. Somebody said, you hear that Remy Ma diss? I heard part of it. I ain't heard the whole thing, but I heard the gossip about it. I just ain't had time to get on the internet and check it out yet. I'll probably check that out sometime today. Shout out to London, you know what I'm saying? Much love to London out there. Hopefully I can, when I go to Europe next year, I can visit London. I want to hit London. I want to hit Paris. I want to hit Stockholm. I want to hit, a couple spots in Germany, just see something different, man. I didn't have any experience, no Peter Gators personally, man. But I know about them. They lurk up in the system, man. They're up in there and they on some really just treacherous shit. You know what I mean? You gotta watch out for the motherfuckers. Old Peter Gators. But yeah, man. Somebody said, would you spit game to a finance female guard? And then somebody else asked, did anybody fuck any guards? You know what? At Sheridan, that motherfucker, there was a female guard up in there, and she worked, I think, in rec. And one of the Crip cats, I think he was fucking with her on the DL. Another cat from Hawaii was actually putting in work on her too, and she was a cold freak. And her husband worked at the prison, so you know what I'm saying. It was a cold triangle up in that motherfucker. But she was she used to wear motherfucking what do you call it, camel toe fucking work pants, man, and be tooting it and shit, man. And but you kind of know who's fucking who, and it's like in there, there's only a couple females that might be even prospects, so motherfuckers be on them, and it's like a bunch of bulls trying to fuck one or two cows, man. It ain't really. I personally didn't try to risk getting caught up in that, but there was motherfuckers up in there, putting it down, and in Terminal Island, I had a partner over there, and he was actually there was female guards that were selling pussy, so they were actually slanging pussy at TI back in the day. Somebody said, what was 9/11 like inside prison? When I was at Rampart when 9/11 went down, and they immediately, anybody who had any type of terrorist related case, they locked their ass up in the hole, and basically did an investigation on them to see if they had anything that was tied into anti-American mentality, you know what I mean? So it was, but other than that, and, there was, of course it was on the news, but I didn't see anything else, other than them actually cracking down on people who were, whether you be American or not, but who had terrorist charges. Somebody said, can you do a video on shank defense tactics? Yeah, I'll try to get one of my partners to come and do a video with me, and we'll do something about how to defend yourself against a shank. You know what I mean? A lot of times, a lot of these guys, man, they are operating out of fear. And if you show that you aren't scared and you actually can put together, it's coming, then you can defend yourself. I seen a dude trying to shank a homie, and he fucking when dude came at him with the shank, he fucking slapped his fucking arm. And a partner knew like some martial arts. He broke the dude's arm, then turned around, kicked him in the kneecap, and broke his leg. He was beasting with it. So yeah, man. If shanks have their purpose, but you also got people who would turn around and beat that ass even if you do got a shank. So somebody said meet up with Bass Rootin for defense techniques. That's right. He's got some defense techniques. There's a lot of shit on the internet too. Like I said, hopefully you won't have to go to prison to defend yourself against a shank, man. It's barbaric, man. It's a lot of animals in there, and doing time, man. I don't brag about it. I just try to share with you guys the experiences I've been through, but it's not worth it to try to go in there to get G status or to hang out. It ain't worth it, man. If you can actually do something and avoid putting yourself in that position, man, do it. Did I ever witness a riot? Yeah, I witnessed a riot, man. I've seen some shit kick off. I've been on a couple lockdowns, and it's everybody going at everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you gotta you put backs against backs, and you just you fucking step it up. What's up from Indianapolis? Anthony, shout out. Somebody said, did I know any lifers? Yeah, I met a couple dudes up in there who were doing life, man. It's sad, man. These dudes are straight G's, man. One of the dudes even cried, man. One night he was drinking, man. He was crying like, man, I wish I can get out, man. You know what I mean? He's like, I wish I had another opportunity, man. I want to get the fuck out of prison. But the dude wasn't very educated, so all he did was spend all his time working rather than trying to research his case. And if he maybe took the time to do that, he would find that there was a hole in his case. And usually there is a hole in your case if there's some type of if it's a conspiracy or something, you can get back into court on appeal and try to get that thing overturned. But I don't know what his situation is now. But I met a couple other dudes who were doing life also. I met a dude who got life off. He got out. You know what I mean? A couple of dudes who got life off of him. So, it does go down. Did I ever come across any Black Panthers? Nah. Didn't come across any Black Panthers. Somebody said, what's up with the Rampart Cowboys? I heard they were beating that ass, huh? Rampart used to be wild, man. Them motherfuckers up in there, the guards were off the chain. But when I was up in there, shit, they used to take the guards would take their belt off and you can go head up. So if you had a problem with a motherfucker, these guards were like motherfucking homies from the hood, man. You could thunder. you can get your wreck on, man. These motherfuckers wouldn't, they wouldn't gonna just hit the deuces on you. They would let you see if you can, get with them on them hands, and there was a level of respect. So that's how they were getting down up in there. Ever seen anyone granted clemency? Personally, no, but I know of some people who, at the institution, who applied for a pardon. A couple of people I know when Clinton was in office in Rampart, they applied for a pardon, and I think a couple of people, I think a person here and there maybe got it, but a lot of times it's still politically who you know. But there were a lot of people applying for pardons who were doing life for drugs. Never met a political prisoner. What's up from Chicago, Chi-Town? Much love to y'all out there. Best book you ever read? Best book? I would say it'd have to be a spiritual book, Conversations with God. And then another book is Think and Grow Rich. And I read some Deepak Chopra stuff that was pretty enlightening. Somebody said, "Do female guards Peter gaze?" You know what? It's crazy because in Long Park, the shower has it's an angled. It's a shower. If you're on a second tier, motherfucker can see into the shower. So you got cats that would be showering, trying to look out to see the female guard, and while they're in the shower, they try to beat their meat and see if they can get her eye contact. And sometimes you have female guards that would be kind of walking by while you were showering to see if they can catch a wee-wee or two. So, these female guards, they're women, man. And believe me, they up in there, they're fuckable. You know what I mean? There's a lot of cats that would knock guards on the DL and get out and hook up with them. And, I know a couple cats that knocked, female employees that worked at the prison. So it goes down. Are the white boys allowed to listen to rap or watch BET? You can see what it is every race has their own little TV thing going on. And you usually have some motherfucker who, for that particular race, monitors the TV man, And the TV's caused more motherfucking fights and stabbings than anything else. But say the TVs are posted up on a big post. You have the black TV, you have the Mexican TV, you have the white TV, then you'll have over there, you have maybe the Sereno TV, and then maybe somebody else's TV. And, you put your earphones on and you just kick back and watch what you want to watch. You know what I mean? So if you want to sit directly in front of the black TV, you might catch some shit from your partners. But if you're in the cuts and you want to watch something, you just watch it. You know what I mean? Somebody said, "Did you ever use a blinky?" I never had to take off with a motherfucker with a blinky, man. Fortunately, so I didn't put myself in a position where I can catch more time. But, I've seen motherfuckers have blinkies used on them up in there. You know what I mean? It ain't a pretty sight. Nah, I never got my wig split, homie. That never happened. And, is it true they don't let you watch the news in prison? Nah, you can watch the news. You got guys in there who are getting subscriptions to the Wall Street Journal or USA Today. There are some pretty sharp Italian cats I ran across, man, and they used to get the Wall Street Journal because they were, had stocks and shit like that. And when they got done, I got cool with them. They let me read the paper. You know what I mean? I'd read the Wall Street Journal or the USA Today, so you can get up to date news in prison. Did you ever find out how you got caught for your bank robbery? Well, the bank robbery, it was a high-speed chase, and we changed cars, we changed clothing, but it wasn't like there was any other suspects that were potentially around that particular day when we did the bank robbery. So it was preponderance of evidence when they pulled us over that we were the ones who did the bank robbery. And my actual co-defendant, he told the whole story. As soon as he got arrested, he told the whole motherfucking story. And then said he didn't say anything. And I didn't find out till I got my discovery that he had pretty much told the planning of the bank robbery, everything. And he got out. He ended up doing more time because he went to trial after he told on himself. and he got shot by the LAPD downtown. He was a homeless guy that got shot 5 times. Is tobacco allowed in the feds like in the state? They had banned tobacco and while I was in the feds, and what happened was then guards started bringing it in for inmates, and motherfuckers was making money off a can of Bugler that probably cost what $20. Motherfuckers was making like $300-400. So slinging cigarettes in feds was big money, man. You had dudes making a couple $1,000s a month just slinging cigarettes in the feds. So that became big business, man. And guards were getting busted here and there, but a lot of guards were making money, man, fucking with the buglers up in there. So somebody said, would you help a guard that was getting whooped by an inmate? Was none of my nah. I ain't gonna lie. I would. You interfering with anybody that's not your particular homie in prison getting whooped is you're gonna get fucking whooped. You're gonna get punished. I was in the kitchen and I seen a dude get stomped out by 3 or 4 dudes, and everybody's kept eating. And as soon as I finished, I just got the fuck up out of here. Because you don't get involved in shit that don't involve you in prison, man. This ain't Captain Save-A-Ho, and it's fucked up, man. But hopefully, if something happens, so you got a homie that has your back. But you don't get involved when shit like that goes down. You get the fuck away from it, because even if you tried to help that guard, the other guards will turn around and think you have something to do with him getting whooped, and you'll get the shit beat out of you. And by the time they figure out that you were trying to help, you might have had your craniums cracked. So it ain't worth it. What was the most amount of stamps I had? I don't know. I used to keep books of stamps. So I did a lot of legal work. So, keep 10, 20, 15, 20 books, you know what I'm saying? Because that's commerce, that's like having money. There was cats that, the big homie worked in the kitchen. Shit, he used to have hundreds of books, and he'd be, slanging the motherfuckers, man. But he was slanging that food in the kitchen. So he had a cold stamp hustle. But yeah, stamps was a big commerce. And I didn't have a bunch of stamps laying around. A lot of times, if I did stuff for people, I would tell them to send the money to the street so I can have stuff handled on the street, whether it be having books sent in or trying to take care of business. Somebody said, have I ever had a positive experience in prison? Well, I talked about that earlier, where we had a group of guys and we all studied together, and basically we created like our own positive study group in prison, which kind of allowed us to elevate ourselves from a lot of the bullshit. No, I've never been to Hartnell College in Salinas. Never been there. Never been out there. Any 5150 stories? Yeah, man, there's a cat up in there. We see a lot of these cats, you guys, 5150 means crazy. And usually if you're really diagnosed as mentally crazy, they'll send you to a mental institution that's designated for those inmates. You know what I'm saying? They got medical facilities with all the crazies up in there. But then you got guys who go to pill call because they want to get pills. So they, they pretend to be half-ass crazy. But there's a guy, he used to always be running around doing that, bow, like he had a fucking gun. That stupid shit, the shit they be doing in these rap songs now. He was doing this shit back when I was in the pen. And, he thought he was, crazy motherfucker. And he tried to run up on a homie in the shower and got his wig split. That nigga, he ran up, he tried to crack the shower door open. He cracked that door open. The homie busted him in the head, busted him in the nuts, and whooped his ass and put his boots on and continued to stomp that ass out, nigga, butt naked. So, yeah, that dude, that crazy shit, it only take you so far. You run across a real motherfucker, he gonna split that wig. Somebody said, any recommendations for a sick ass spread I should try? Check out prison spreads, man. I mean, Chef V got some pretty cool ones. The old Dorito chips with the top ramen noodles, the chili, and some chicken is a pretty good spread. You know what I'm saying? That's like that one hits the spot. But since I've been out, man, I be trying to go to all these little fancy places now and get some good food, man. I be trying to expand my palate, man. I mean, prison food, man. In prison it seems good, but when you get on the street, you start looking at the sodium content, you think twice, man. And somebody said, what's that? Oh no, if you intentionally rude to people. If you stay antisocial and rude to people in prison, could you survive? Not if you're rude to people. You gotta show everybody respect, man. If you if you even if you're a smart dude, I've seen guys who are very intellectual and they're actually too smart for their own good because they come across as being arrogant, and other inmates don't like when you think you're perceived as better than them, and that could lead to getting your ass whooped. So you have to show a certain level of courtesy to everybody and not act like you're just that much above everybody else, because in prison, man, motherfuckers, there's motherfuckers that are at the bottom that'll bring your ass right there with them. So you got to know how to tread on water. Yeah, man. How long was my bid? I had 120 months, and out of that, I did 8 years, 8 months, and I did out of that 8 years, 8 months, I did 3 months in a halfway house in South Central. So yeah, man, that's what that was about. Much love to Jersey. Somebody was asking, what are books of stamps? The books of stamps, like, you buy a book of stamps on the street for mailing from the post office. That's a book. And so when you say books of stamps, you might have, if you got 10 or 20 of those, that's considered money. And so that book, if it's worth, I don't know what a book of stamps is worth now, but say $8, 10 of those is $80. So you can actually give that to somebody and say, okay, now send $80 to my books. And that person will do a mail out, a money slip, and have that money sent to somebody on the street who would send that money to your books, or he'll have somebody from the street send the money to your books. There's people who buy, hundreds of books, $800 worth of books, or a couple hundred books, whatever, because they're gambling. And you can use those as gambling, that's money for gambling. So stamps are used for everything from mailing out packages, as far as legal work, to actually buying stuff, buying canteen, gambling, whatever, what have you, doing legal work. People pay for you stamps to buy food out of the kitchen, all type of shit. Do you know Skits Danny from Salinas, Big Herc? Don't sound familiar. I don't know offhand. He might have known me, but I don't know offhand for sure. But I did know some people from Salinas in the feds that were at Sheridan. What was the final straw that made me rob the bank? Man, I still had that fucking mentality where I was willing to take chances. So it wasn't like I was broke. I was making money, man. I was doing porn. I was making, a couple grand a week. I had a few things going on, but I didn't really have any direction, man. I didn't have any real focus, and I figured robbing a bank would be a chance worth taking, that if I got a chunk of money, I can take that and invest it and make a move. I wanted to get into the rap game, start a record label. I had a couple rappers I wanted to try to produce, and it was a dumbass idea, man. You know what I'm saying? Looking back at it, but if I wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't be here today with you guys, and I wouldn't have the show Fresh Out jumping off. So maybe there was a purpose behind it. Yeah, man. It wasn't a smart move. And robbing a bank, when you get to the feds and you see what other people were doing in there for money, and you think about the amount of money you got away with, and even if you did get away, and you look at how much time you're doing for the money, it wasn't worth it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't worth it. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things you could have been doing on the streets and been free rather than that little bank robbery money. No, I never was in. Somebody says, well, in Salinas, I was never in the States, and I was never in Salinas in the state. I never really did, state time like that, only CYA time. Somebody asked about holding pockets. I ain't never held another nigga's pocket. There was some bitches up in there, but I ain't never seen a motherfucker walk around holding another nigga pocket. I ain't never seen that shit. That shit, they showed it on Prison Break. Maybe it goes down like in the state, but in the feds, I knew it. I seen some dudes who were punks, and I didn't know who they man was because I tried not to even, look in that direction or paid any attention. So, You know, it wasn't like I was trying to monitor what the punks were doing up in there. I'm trying to know it's it, guys. Somebody says, let's say you're white and you're new to prison and you get to the chow hall. How do you know if you sit with the white guys, they're going to automatically accept you? Can you get your wig split? Well, most likely, before you actually even go to the chow hall to eat, somebody from the white race will approach you and put you up on game. Just like if you're black or Mexican, somebody will approach you and kind of give you a heads up. But they'll tell you where you can sit at in the chow hall, what's the neutral area if you're not trying to, bang, and basically you'll get a pass, And like I said, the less you say about your business, the better, because the more you say about it, you open yourself up to be subject to some bullshit. Somebody says, why'd you rob a bank? Were you ever in a dope game? Seems like a little less risky. When I was younger, I was in a dope game, and then, got into like pulling licks, and then entertained the bank robbery. But and then even then, what I'm saying, the dope game is all about a plug. You and I both know that there's dudes out there who ain't that smart, but they got a damn good plug and they're rich as fuck. But then there's always a risk of somebody telling on you. The bottom line is, even the dope game, and looking back now at it, the bank robbery game, there were other things. Had I had a more exposure, I would have did things differently. Getting to the feds and talking to guys who were doing other things out there. That's why I say, exposure is so big in your success, because I would entertained it, man. I mean, if you have an opportunity to make money doing something else rather than running up in a bank and telling everybody to get the fuck down, and then you're gonna choose the lesser of the two evils, man. You're not gonna jeopardize your freedom for 100 racks when you can make 100 racks, fucking with the music industry, or putting together a business plan. So it's all about education, man, and exposure. And even though I was educated, I had been to college, I had that gangster mentality, man, and I had to reprogram myself so I didn't think like that no more. Is it gang infiltrated? Or could you get in? Somebody says, the Big Herc ever been a massage parlor? Nah, I've been a legitimate massage, motherfucker. I ain't never been no happy ending, though. I never fuck with those. How was your first sleep the day you got released? You know what? Well, the first night, man, I got to a halfway house, and I was on a top bunk, and it was unfamiliar, man, and it was fucked up. It wasn't like I wasn't at my own house, man. I didn't really have a peaceful sleep, man, for probably, it wasn't until I finally got my own place, man, which is probably, let me see, probably 7 8 months after that, man, because I got out the halfway house and I was staying with a friend, and then I rented a room, and then I got my own apartment with a roommate, man. But yeah, I didn't, I didn't have, it wasn't no hell of a peaceful sleep even the first night I got out. Mario, why is funny? Is there a race war even worse in prison? Well, racially speaking, you have a lot of just ignorant extremists in prison, where it's hard to even try to get people to come to a table to talk about things because of just their mentality and level of education. So it's sad. I mean, on the street, you can have a dialogue with a white person or a Mexican person or an Asian person, but in the pen, because of just the mentality, it's hard to create that dialogue to work out problems. So a lot of times it comes to a tipping point before things can get worked out, when a lot of times the communication, if it was better, a lot of these things could have been solved ahead of time. Somebody said, do I still sleep in bunk beds? Nah, motherfucker. What I look like sleeping on a bunk bed? Um, Somebody said, if you're nice to people in prison, would they think you're a punk? Nah, just be yourself, man. You ain't like you buying motherfucking shit from commissary and nothing like that. You just be yourself. As long as you be yourself, you get respect. You know what I'm saying? People respect those who respect themselves. So you ain't gotta, you ain't gotta go out of your way to be nice to people to get them to leave you alone. Somebody said, "Did I graduate high school?" Yup, I graduated high school and I went to junior college, but I didn't. I didn't finish my AA. I just kind of like left that to the side and went into business. Um, Somebody said about looking out for a homie in prison. I've done that. I've sent money to homies in prison. You know what I'm saying? I've looked out for people who will looked out for me. So yeah, would I hold a motherfucker down? Yeah, man. I'm loyal like that. You know what I'm saying? If a person, if I got up before one of my homies and they needed me to take care of some stuff for them and I did it. That's what you do, man. You look out for those who look out for you, man. I mean, a lot of people don't have any sense of loyalty these days, and they wonder why they can't find nobody to hold them down or to have their back, man. And it's you got to have that in your life. Um, why do the Norteños and Sureños hate each other? They're both Mexican. I don't know the full history behind that. You know what I mean? It goes back pretty far, I think, into the state prisons, but I can't really speak on that because I don't really know anything about that. Somebody said you should write a how-to prison book. Yeah, that might be in the works too. You know what I'm saying? I'm still writing right now erotic novels. I'm editing a book right now, but I don't know what I'm gonna write next once I finish this edit. Yeah, they don't beef. Two different cars, but there's no beef just because. Yeah, man. Somebody else is asking here, are there real guards that inmates have to deal with? Yeah, you do run across some guards who are just some you could tell they're weird motherfuckers, man. They want to work in a prison so they can basically, some of them are homosexual, man. They want to work in a prison so they can look at Peters. You know what I'm saying? I knew a dude and he loved work. He was a hard ass on the inmates, but come to find out on the street, this nigga was he was a Peter Gazer. So you do have that, man. And there was actually a guard at Sheridan when I was there. Weird dude, man. Kind of like seemed kind of off, but man, this motherfucker, man, had raped a girl, fucking beat her up, left her in the like forest for dead. She wasn't dead. She crawled to the road, got help, and basically told the police what happened. And this motherfucker got arrested. And mind you, I heard that her people were actual bikers. So when he got to the pen, they probably busted his cheeks. He got his cheeks busted. Old weirdo guard. But it's going on an hour. I gave you guys a little bit more today. You know what I'm saying? And just want to kind of kick off the this prison talk thing and keep you guys entertained for a while. Usually I do a half hour, but I actually did close to an hour today. I'll be back next Monday. Have your questions ready. You know what I'm saying? Tell your friends to tune in. Tell your family to tune in. And, have your people subscribe to our YouTube channel, man. Fresh Out Series, Life After the Penitentiary. And check out our SoundCloud and also our Instagram and our Twitter. All right, you guys. Have a great week, man. Stay positive, man. Avoid the suckers, duck the haters, and be about your paper, man. And hopefully I'll see y'all next week, man, and we can keep it rolling, man. Much love to everybody, man. Much love to London, Sacramento, Chi-Town, Miami, New York, Chicago, Canada, everybody, Washington, Colorado, everybody, man, who supports us, man. And if I missed your state, man, I apologize. Much love to NC, Texas, everybody who tunes in, man. Dubai, you know what I'm saying? I really thank you guys for supporting us, man. Shout out to Tampa, Ireland. Shout out to Ireland. And, what I'm saying, look forward to talking to you guys again next week, man. Late.